Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. I'm Ralph Phillips, and I hate the Rams. You know, it's not that I hate the Rams. I got a lot of respect for them, but I hate the Rams. The Rams have just screwed the Buccaneers over for the past 30 years. You know, at least with the Falcons, we've gotten payback on the Falcons. We've never really gotten payback on the Rams. You know, we've never knocked them out of the playoffs. We've never, beat them at caused them to not go to the playoffs or, won the NFC championship against them or something. They've done that to us. And then last night, they go and let Atlanta beat them, making it so it's going to be really hard for the Buccaneers to win the NFC South. We got to not only beat the Panthers on a primetime game on Saturday at 4:30, but we got to hope that the Saints can go into Mercedes Field and beat the Falcons. Because if the Falcons win, Carolina's in. They win the NFC South, no matter what happens Saturday between us. And it's going to suck that we're going to have to watch the game Sunday before we'll know the full outcome of everything. But what's up, Zebra? Yes, the offense. Actually, the offense isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's not that great either. What is it with the Rams? What is it with them? Why do they hate us so much? That was a good game last night, though. I tell you, that Bijan Robinson, he's special. He's going to be a force for a long time in this league. And it sucks. We said that at the beginning of this year that this is the last year that the Bucs have before this division starts to get a little bit good. And I think it got a little bit better than everybody expected here towards the end of this season. I don't think anybody thought that the New Orleans Saints were going to start winning. Everybody was kind of surprised that the Falcons started losing as early as they did, but all three of those teams have been on the tear here at the end of the year. It's like they sapped all of our life out of us. We've been sucking. They've been doing good. Oh, no. What's up with the photos? Who's got the photos? Do they look like they're down and out? They look sad. I was listening to Scott Reynolds today. He said he was back at the One Buck place for the first time in a couple of weeks because he's been sick. And he said it was shocking to him at how down everybody is in the locker room. He was basically saying this is a team that's just ready to go home. They're just ready to end the season. And I was like, oh, great. That's awesome. It seems like that's kind of what they're doing on the field. It's what I'm seeing on the field anyhow, especially on defense. And I haven't seen that until this game. This is the first game where I was like, oh, these guys have quit. And it happened pretty early in the game. The first drive, they looked good. They were, Vita was out there high-fiving guys and stuff. And then after that, after we gave up that second or the first touchdown, that's when it just went, and they started playing like they didn't care. I mean, Jamel Dean and Tyke Smith not even trying to run after that rookie who scored the touchdown, 60-yard run. And I think it was Tom that showed their 40 speeds, how both of them were faster. I think Dean's got a 4.3 40. And he didn't even, he actually lost yardage because he was just jogging behind him. Man. Hands in their pocket, nobody talking, no smile. Yeah, I'm worried about this team, man. I think and it's sad too because, this is the last iteration of this team. I don't think Todd Bowles is going to be here. I saw that Bruce Arians was on Pat McAfee's show today, and he said he doesn't think Todd Bowles is going to get fired, but he doesn't think Raheem Morris is going to get fired either. I can see them keeping Raheem for another year, maybe, but I just can't see the Glazers keeping Todd Bowles. I just can't see it. I can't see it. And then along with that, we got a lot of guys, who might not be here next year. Levante David being the big one. Keeft, Cade Otton, Hassan Reddick, of course. Mike Evans is up, but I think he'll come back. It's all whether he wants to play or not. Who do we got? Who else we got? Rashad White, which I'll hate to see him go. He's such a good pass blocker, man. Jamel Dean, I'll be glad to see him go. I mean, this is going to be a different team next year in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. And it's just sad that we're going to go out like this. I still feel like with Todd Bowles here, and we still have a lot of the Super Bowl guys, that this is still partly the Super Bowl team. But once Todd Bowles is gone and all the coaches are gone with him, because they'll all go, that'll be it for the Super Bowl team from the Buccaneers. I mean, we'll still have Mike Evans most likely. I'm not sure if Levante David's going to retire. I'm going to lie. I don't think he's looked that bad. I think he's just put in bad positions. He has not been playing 100% for sure. I don't think anybody has been. But he had, to me, everybody's talking about he looks slow. I'm like, yeah, Levante David's never been a fast guy. He's just always been a really football smart guy and a good tackler and all that. But he's still doing stuff. He's still better than any other linebacker we got. So, I think if he wants to play, I think we'll still keep him. I don't know if he wants to play, though, anymore. Mike Evans, again, it's all dependent on what he's going to feel like during the offseason. But, once those guys are gone, it's going to be a weird team, man. Those guys have been here for a long time. Long time. What's up, Awesome? Pewter. What's up, brother? Big guy, when Bucky Worths are happy to play here. Oh my gosh, yeah, trade requests. I hate trade requests. That's what turned me against Devin White. I mean, it was like the last half a year after his dad died. He's just started playing like he didn't give a crap, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give him a mulligan on that, because his dad died. So, we'll ignore his performance on the field. And then during that off season, he requested a trade, and I was like, yeah. Bye-bye. That's the worst, man, when players request a trade. Because it's almost like your girlfriend, finding out your girlfriend's cheating on you or something, Or your girlfriend says, I think we should date other people. You're like, what? I had a great Christmas. Do you have a good Christmas, Awesome? I had a really good one. It was small, just my immediate family and my wife's dad. He came, him and his dog. So that was nice. It was nice. It wasn't a lot of people and all that good stuff. And we were feeling a little down, sick wise. Not as bad as we were 2 years ago where we all had the flu. This year, a couple of us got it, and then it kind of went away, and then it came back, but it wasn't that bad. We had a good Christmas, man. Oh, like I said before, the 13th. Gotti, what's up? I thought that was you. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, he's got to play at least 13 years, man. 13. Yeah. Putting the green dot on Levante's helmet was just a stupid move. And it's almost like he did it out of spite. And I've seen him do that with players. John Gruden was the same way. John Gruden always wanted to be the star of the team. And it's one of the reasons why him and Keyshawn Johnson clashed all the time, because Keyshawn had a mouth and Keyshawn wanted to be the star. And same with Warren Sapp and all that. And, Gruden don't like that mess. He wants to have all the attention. Gruden wants to have all the attention. And he would put players in positions that didn't benefit them. And I see that with Bowles too. Bowles really wants his scheme to be the star. He really likes being called a defensive guru. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't have a marketing team that pushes that all the time. But I have seen him with so many players take them away from what they're good at and put them doing things that they're not good at, or that they're just to take them away from their skill set. Let's put it that way. And I feel like he did it with Levante. And it doesn't make any sense to me other than that reason. It could be he just didn't feel confident with any of the other linebackers calling plays. That makes sense too. But, Levante's very outspoken about the fact he doesn't like doing it. And I don't think he's that good at it. Kind of uneventful Christmas. That's always a good Christmas. I don't like eventful Christmases because usually that event requires family drama. We had back in 2019, we had our whole extended family come, or not extended, but my side of the family, my wife's side of the family come and stay at our house. And they stayed for a couple days, stayed the night. And everybody wore onesie pajamas, and we've got pictures of it and everything. And that was a really great Christmas. That was the last time we were all together too. My mom passed away shortly thereafter, or not shortly thereafter, but a few years later. And it's just nice to be able to look at those pictures and just see that. But we didn't have any drama during that Christmas. And normally when my family gets together, there's drama. So my family loved the drama. My mom loved the drama, but we didn't have any drama that year. Oh my gosh. That's exactly awesome. I am so mad at the Rams. I just hate the Rams. I hate them. I got a lot of respect for the Rams. I really do, but I hate them. It's been 30 years where the Rams have just screwed us over. And we've never gotten them back. We've never, taken the playoffs away from them or knocked them out of the playoffs or, taken a championship away from them or anything like that. They've done it to us. I'm tired of it. And if we lose this NFC South championship because the Falcons win, I'm going to be so furious. I just want one more game. That's all I ask. That's all I care about. I don't want my season to be over Saturday. I like football, even if it's bad football. Yeah, our fans. Yep. Start the Fire Bulls chant. And they had that on the Thursday night football. Fire Bulls. That was sad. Yeah, and what's it going to be like? How many people are going to show up to this game? I don't think that stadium's going to be full. I'll be surprised if it's 80% full, and that's sad for a do or die game, against a division rival. Yeah. Win this game against Carolina and then lose the NFC South because the Falcons beat the Saints. The good thing is it's going to be at Atlanta, which is probably just as good for the Saints as it is if it was at Saints, because they got the same type of field. It's not like they're going to be playing on turf. Yeah, they're going to lose a lot of season tickets, man. They're going to lose a lot of fan support. If they keep Bowles next year, I think you'll see a fan revolt, man. That's why I don't think they'll do it. A lot of it depends on if they've got somebody lined up already. And if they can get them signed. They learned their lesson back in the Shiano days. You gotta get that that signature before you can fire your other coach or before you can be feeling like you're safe anyhow. Shiano was like our 4th pick. Man, we sure did get screwed over on that one. Oh, we can get the 10th overall pick? That wouldn't be too bad, dude. Wow. I didn't know we were that bad. Makes sense, though. Wow. Top 10 pick? Tankathon. Let's look at it. Here we go. Yeah, right now we're at 13th. Oh my gosh, yeah. So if Atlanta wins and Miami wins, we'll get the 10th pick. 11th anyhow. Yeah. Okay, if Atlanta wins, which we... Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Atlanta's 7-9. I can't believe Atlanta's the same as we are. And I can't believe that Carolina Panthers are 1 game ahead of us. Okay. So Tampa Bay, yeah, right now we're at the 13th pick. Man, that's embarrassing. And then Miami and Atlanta are tied with 7-9. So if Atlanta wins, that'll bump us up to 12th place. And then if Miami wins, that'll bump us up to 11th place. And then if Cincinnati, Kansas City, or New Orleans wins, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can get in on 10th spot. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a world where that'll happen. A lot of things got to go our way. Still, we're going to have, I mean, a top 13th pick. It's not too shabby. Man, how did this happen? Bowles got to go, man. Bowles got to go. Yeah, exactly, Zebra. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, we put ourselves in this spot. And this is just like last year. We didn't make it. We didn't win. We didn't control our destiny. It's just because the Falcons crapped the bed at the end of the year is the only reason why we made it in. And again, we're going into the last week, and it's out of our hands. Yeah. I mean, we got to win, but luckily we haven't scored much. there's the optimist there in you. Oh my gosh, we're the worst team in football since week 10. Yeah. I remember back then when Baker was talking about as the MVP, Egbuka was talked about as the offensive rookie of the year, maybe even rookie of the year. And then, yeah, it was like, as soon as we get everybody back for the playoffs, we'll have a Super Bowl. Man, gosh, that seems like forever ago. I was thinking about just going back and watching the first few weeks, the first like 6 weeks. Just because that was fun football. It was heart attack football, but it was fun. These last 8 games have not been fun. What could explain this total meltdown? Taking coaching away, something toxic in the locker room, the injuries could be really mentally messing with people, because something happened to Bucky Irvin. I mean, you watch him play, he's not playing nowhere near the way he played last year. But then again, he wasn't really playing, but he's playing different than he was at the beginning of this year. Even, he's not doing cuts or spinning or nothing. He's not trying to avoid contact, really. Injuries could be causing, people to be just mentally messed up in the locker room. There could be, and this is just pure speculation if we're just throwing stuff out there. There could be infidelity. I mean, this has happened in locker rooms before where one guy starts messing around with another guy's wife or girlfriend. That's what happened to the 49ers, blew that organization up. That was a Super Bowl team, or they'd gone to the Super Bowl, and then boom, they just blew up because Kaepernick was sleeping with, what was that guy's name? The defensive guy, his girlfriend. And that just tore the locker room apart. What else could it be? Just bad luck? Just a lot of weird stuff happening all at the same time. And you're seeing that with this team. And that's why I say you just got to point at the head coach, because there's just way too much weird stuff happening, on every part of the team. The tight ends will break down one week, quarterback will break down the next week, offensive line will break down another week, linebacker, it's just one group after another. Offense will suck, or defense will suck, or special teams will suck. And to me, that's just a sign of the head coach can't keep it all together. He can't get guys consistent. Anybody else got any ideas what it could be if it's not the head coach? It's a good question. Yeah, that did feel like 100 years ago, Zebra. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to go back and rewatch the games. I normally do after the season is over. I'll rewatch the whole season. And you just kind of get a feel. It's kind of like binge watching a show, when you have to wait, when each episode comes out, you kind of forget the episode previously, or 3 weeks ago, you'll forget about it. But then when you binge watch it all, you could see all the common threads and stuff. So I like to do that after the season. Hopefully the season won't be ending this Saturday. I know a lot of people want it to be, but not me, man. Not me. Okay. With the offense, it wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be. The offensive line played pretty decent. And this reminds me, I was talking to Molly about this, about how Mayfield is really starting to remind me a lot of Jameis Winston. He's getting the same habits, and Jameis Winston really made our offensive line look bad because he would scramble right into sacks and stuff. And because he always scrambled, it makes it look like the offensive line is not doing well. But offensive line did pretty good in this game. As a matter of fact, one sack, the first sack that Mayfield got, he ran right into the guy. I mean, I was just like, well, that's not on the offensive line by any. He was going to scramble, and he ran right beside the guy that Chumbawamba was engaged with, and the guy just reached out and grabbed him. I was like, well, that wasn't on the offensive line for sure. But, he's doing the same stuff where he's scrambling unnecessarily, and he's, throwing interceptions. He's not making good decisions. He's not seeing down the field and everything. He didn't play that horrible in this game, but you definitely noticed a difference in his accuracy when he was throwing on the run as to when he stood in the pocket and threw it. Big difference in his accuracy. I think I've got some of those marked. So him throwing on the run is just not a good thing. He just needs to stop doing that. The interception he threw, the first one he threw he was on the run. I think the second one too. No, the second one, that was just a bad decision. They played tight coverage, a lot of man coverage on us. Baker threw into coverage a lot in this game too. So he threw some nice balls on the rope, but then he was off target a lot either. And everybody's saying he's injured, and he did come up on the injury report today with a shoulder and a knee, throw-in shoulder. I don't know. I don't see it. This is what I said earlier in the season. I was like, I don't see it in his mechanics or anything. But if it's there, it's there. Could explain a little bit. They didn't blitz hardly at all. They blitzed 5 times this entire game, and almost all of that was on the last 2 drives. They only blitzed 1 time in the first half. The whole first half, they only blitzed 1 time. The other 4 blitzes were when we were in basically pass-only mode, just trying to catch up on the score. They focused on Mike Evans heavy. I mean, quite a few times they had him triple-teamed. They did not want Mike Evans catching that ball. But mainly in this, we shot ourselves in the foot offensively. They didn't beat us offensively. We beat ourselves. It was a lot of mistakes on our part. Things like Baker just... we're in scoring range, and he goes to throw the ball, and the ball just comes right out of his hands, and he fumbles it, and they get a sack because it just came right out of his hand. I don't know what he was doing. And the things like I said, where he scrambles right into a sack. The bad decisions, the bad throws, when the interception did happen right in front of McCollum, he didn't even try to fight for it or try to touch the guy down. We had some dumb penalties, but I'll tell you this, Luke Gedeke was on a mission. He was on a mission this game. He didn't get beat once. Him or Barton. They had perfect games. Which I can show you on my notes. They had perfect games. And Feeney only got beat once. That was during in a run game, run block. Michael Jordan was our weak link. He got whooped 4 times. And Chumbawamba, I'll never learn how to say his name because I like saying Chumbawamba. He got beat 3 times. One of them was for that crucial strip sack. And to me, it looked like he was just tired. He just looked exhausted at that point. 92 on their team defensively. He's good. That is Zach Sealer. He's good. Kenneth Grant is good as well. Of course, you got Bradley Chubb and Chop Robinson. Although Chop Robinson didn't do anything in this game. Like I said, Gedeke was on a mission in this game. He didn't have no mistakes. He got no penalties, and he was throwing guys around. I got some stuff we'll look at on that too. I hope. What's up, Joe? I've always been a team that uses up all their Hey, Corey, what's up, man? Zebra, I don't have a problem with Grizzard. I really don't. My complaint with Grizzard would be his emphasis on deep routes. He's got too much emphasis on deep routes, not enough pressure relief stuff. And again, like I said, I don't know if it's him or Baker not, calling hot routes or signaling for him. But there's just way too many times that, there's just nothing underneath for Baker. And way too many long developing routes. And that's just not Baker's style. That's just not him. But I like some of Grizzard's stuff. I like some of the stuff he did in this game. But I get it. I get why people don't think he's that good. I mean, he's not Liam Cohen by any means, but he's not that bad. I don't have a problem. Baker said they'll fix it this week. Oh yeah. That one, yeah, right. That might have been it, because after that we didn't get to see him. He had three short throws after that, right? Yeah, on their last drive. Yeah, it was three short throws. So didn't get to see him. Yeah, he did get hit hard on that one. Yeah, his throwing on the run, it just he can do it. I think he relies on it too much, and it is, I don't care how good you are at it, you're not going to be as precise as, when you plant your feet and stay in the pocket. You're just not. And that's the issue, is he's just not being precise enough. The Dolphins played really tight coverage on us, and he had to be precise in this game. And he was, for the most part, but a lot of times when he would scramble and then try to throw it, it'd be low or high or short. And I think if he would have planted his feet and focused more on throwing it precisely, it would have been better. Hoping he would hit him on his kneel down. Oh man, we just didn't have it in us, man. We didn't care. Our defense was just, man, they were so despondent. I get it though. Rampage, what's up? I don't know. I've been looking. Now we won't fire him until Monday, probably. They might not fire him until like mid-January or something, so they can get somebody else in there. So they got somebody locked up. Okay, this is the first series. This is a nice block by 65 and 67. They had really good games. These guys right here had a great game. Gedeke had a perfect game. He was making up for last week for sure. He was on a rampage. Nice blocking by 65-67 here. Let me see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that. Bam. Oh, that is perfect. Perfect. That's beautiful. If 87 could have kept his leverage here, I mean, he had it nice, but then lost it. This could have really gone for a lot. Bucky just is not running like Bucky. Just this whole game, he wasn't making the cuts and the spins and we've seen it ever since he's come back. He's just not running like himself. And a lot of times, he's just putting a shoulder down and trying to go. He should have avoided this. This guy gets him right here. He's got all this space over here. He should not have gotten tackled here. Or you wouldn't expect Bucky to. But anyhow, that was just beautiful blocking. That was a nice pull by 65 and 67. And they just locked this up, man. I mean, just boom, boom. Ah, I love it. That's good stuff. Yeah, they had a great game. I just wanted to point this out on the defense. This guy, 90, Kenneth Grant, he's a rookie for them. This is how you get out of a hold. Now, he's not being held here, or technically, but he is, 60's got a grasp on him. And watch what he does here. This is what Sue used to do all the time. He hooks underneath him, right here, right there. See how his arm goes up underneath him? And then he spins. And watch when he spins. Whoosh. He comes out and he's facing the quarterback free. And Sue taught our guys how to do that. And they were doing it for a long time. Like Golston, he was doing it too. And that's how you get out of a hold. Now, like I'm saying, 60's not technically holding him here, but he does have, he's got his shoulder pads, which, that's legal. You're allowed to do that. And just beautiful. Hook, spin, whoom. And you can't hold him after that. He breaks free. And then you're facing the quarterback, and the offensive lineman is standing behind you. So then it's just, and I saw Sue do this so many times. I never, ever saw Ndamukong Suh get held, but I saw guys try to hold him almost every play because he was just so big and strong, but he never got held. He had so many techniques to get out of a hold. So anyhow, I hope that some of our defensive linemen are watching that. Yeah, our defense sucks. This game, our offense didn't get beat. We beat ourselves, but our defense got butt whooped. I did not realize how bad our defense was in this game until I watched this all 22. And it was just, they just dominated us. It was embarrassing. And I was not expecting that at all. I mean, they just really just did whatever they wanted to us. Here's another example of Bucky Irving with his running. I could show you just about every run he did. I was just like, man, does not look like the Bucky of old. What is going on? Right here, he should have kept, I don't know why he does this either, because all the keys are there to go right here, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's seeing this guy, but you got a blocker coming over on him anyhow. But the keys are telling him to go right here, and that's where he's supposed to run anyhow. But instead, he goes right into this guy. I mean, he runs right into this guy. Now, Otten could have definitely blocked this better. It's a tough block, though. It's a tough block to make. But he should have got a better drive on the guy and drove him into, it's a good down block opportunity. He doesn't get enough on him, but he does knock the guy this away, and Bucky goes right into him. When Bucky is supposed to go this way. I don't know why he does this. That's all on Bucky right there. I mean, I could definitely say Cade should have done a better block there, but that was on Bucky. Here's an off-target throw by Mayfield. Let me see. Yeah. That's the one where McMillan had the slide. This would have been really nice because McMillan's open over here. And, it's just low. McMillan does a great job of adjusting to it. And Baker was off target in this game a lot. He might have that shoulder injury. I don't know. I don't see it in his mechanics, but then again, he had some really great throws in this game too. But it just great adjustment by McMillan. This is good block and a blitz pickup by the offensive line here. This is the one time they do blitz. Here, look at this blitz. We've got a free guy. He's just like, I don't know. Everybody's all locked up. And, just thrown low. And a really good adjustment by McMillan. He has to slow down and slide. If this would have been thrown on the run, hit him in stride, could have been a touchdown. It definitely would have been pretty deep. Molly, you don't want to swim with the Dolphins? What's up, Marty? Otten makes a lot of blocks. He misses a lot of blocks too. but they ask him to block a lot. Oh, here's the play where Baker runs into the sack. Now, see, he has he doesn't need to scramble here. You know, if anything, just step over a little bit. You know, but Jordan's got him. You know, Baker didn't even need to move. So anyhow, you see he goes this way, and then he gets right up on this guy, and then he starts to scramble, and the guy just reaches over and grabs him. This is all on Baker. And that's so Jameis Winston. Donald Penn used to get so mad at Jameis Winston because he'd do that crap all the time. Here's a good one. 62 ends up blocking two guys right here. Look at this. Look at this. He's like hulking it up. None shall pass. And it's partly Barton's fault too. He passes on before 60's a little bit ready. The 60 just gets bumped off, and he's like, eh. But great job by Barton there, man. Realizing what was going on. Yeah. On this one, 88 is open in the middle for a touchdown. And again, this is one where I just wish Baker would just stay steady just for a half a beat. Half a beat. You know, boom. Look, he's open right here. Coming across. Touchdown. 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 Even right here, throw it. And you see he's off platform. He's throwing it on the run. And, of course, he throws a bad ball. But he knew Otten was coming across. They had busted coverage here. They both saw 7 come out. And so they both run over to him. And that left the middle wide open. And Baker should have known Otten was coming across the middle and just thrown it. Just doop. Otten wide open. Very next play is when he throws it to Godwin, who is draped with a receiver. So again, I think that was just a matter of Baker not really reading the field or knowing what's going on. Right here, look at this. I mean, Godwin's completely covered. And Baker does this a lot in this game. Just throws right into coverage. And he kind of got to, because look at these Dolphins, man. They are on their guys. Good throw, good catch. I've got this marked, but I don't know why. I don't have any notes on it. So that was good first series. Second series, we're moving down the field. And this one is where I was this is one of those what the F moments. Look, they got Cade Otton blocking Nick Chubb. What? And honestly, Cade Otton does a pretty decent job at it. But, you know, I talk about our defensive ends or outside linebackers getting blocked by tight ends. The tight ends don't have to put near as much effort into it as Otton does here, man. He is struggling, but he holds him back for a little bit. But why in the world would they have 88 on Chubb? And look at this, 70 is doubling here. I mean, I don't understand why 70 doesn't pop off and help. I don't know. I mean, he was, 70 was originally watching this guy, making sure he didn't blitz in. But then after that guy backed up, then go and help your boy. I thought you were a Raiders, Rampage. You like the Raiders too, right? What's all this skinny going on with them? Why in the world did they bench Crosby? And he's all they said it was medical reasons. He was injured, and he's all putting up videos of him shooting basketball and stuff. I don't think he's going to be there next year. Here's another play. This is the player. So later, look at this. Completely covered. I mean, look at this coverage, man. And this goes on all game. So Baker had to throw in coverage a lot. This is a great pass, great catch by Otten right there. So Baker was throwing some darts. And he's just so much better at it when he just stays in the pocket. It sets his foundation right. Oh, someone asked Bowles today about tight ends blocking Chubb. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what in the world are they thinking here? I mean, it worked. But, dang. Okay, here's a 3rd and 1. And again, this is another Bucky Irvin instance. Okay, he throws it to Bucky right here, right? Boom, Bucky catches it. This is a 3rd and 1. And you see Bucky turn around right here. Now, normally, you're going to see Bucky put on the brakes and spin, right? Or something. Maybe even try to just outrun the guy, or no, he just puts the shoulder down and tries to, and that's not Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin is not a shoulder down guy. And he doesn't get the first down. Here's the first down. It's just so weird, man. So weird. Catch it. And this guy was really fast. I liked the design of it, because he's got to go through all this scrum here, but he gets over there, man. Boom. They're a fast defense. Egbuka falls down here, and I don't know why. I don't know if I looked at it and I couldn't see if he tripped. I just couldn't see any reason why he fell down. I mean, not that it matters or anything, but. I just want to know what's going on with Bucky, man. Bucky. This one, I've really liked. They've been doing this Wildcat scheme stuff. I like it. It's fun. Right here, Bucky goes into the direct snap position. And then, boom, he takes a snap right there. It's an option, which, they have to practice this a lot. This isn't one of those things where you just do it. I mean, it's hard to read these options. So I've heard, I don't know. I've never played quarterback. But, to read the option situation real fast and make the correct call is just not something that you do without a lot of practice. But anyhow, this blocking scheme is retarded. I don't know what they were thinking here. I don't get it. I don't understand. But these two guys pull, right? And it would make sense if the run was to that direction, but it's not. You're either going to hand it off here going this way, or you're going to keep it and run maybe that way, I guess. I don't know. It's really the only way to run. But anyhow, these two guys end up being unblocked because these two guys pull. And it's just it's a horrible blocking scheme. I don't get it. Because look, they're right here. I mean, even if you did hand it off here, because that's what he should have done, I think, this guy could have got him. I mean, because I assume he was reading Chubb here, and Chubb goes inside. So, that's why you would hand it off that way. But he doesn't. He keeps it, and Chubb just goes, boop, I got you. Did not like that blocking scheme at all. I think it was kind of stupid. I don't think they'll try that one again. I don't even know how it looked good on paper. Didn't make any sense to me. This is a penalty, a blindside block on 60. This is the interception. He throws it to McMillan. I think we looked at this yesterday, but you can see he scrambles for no reason over to the left or to the right, and then he throws. And he doesn't really throw with a bad foundation. He sets his feet and he throws it. I don't think he gets a whole lot into it, but it comes up short. You see McMillan. McMillan's wide open out here. Really nice play design. Again, like I said, they were focused on Mike, and McMillan has to slow down and turn around, but he never jumps up, never fights for the ball, and then he never tags the guy when he's down. It's very strange. I don't get it. I don't know what he's thinking. And then Mike gets held here, but then here's the blindside block. Bam! Michael Jordan gets laid out. He's down for a bit, too. Yeah. I'm with you, Corey. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, you got to fight for that ball. You got to fight for it, man. And it's strange with McMillan because he's a little feisty dude. I don't know what was going on there. And then not even tag the guy when he was down. So you can see it here. Baker doesn't need to scramble. I mean, they've got these guys just blocked up. I don't know why he goes out to the left. It actually worked out pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie, because everybody shifted and kind of forgot about McMillan back there. They started focusing on Mike and on Baker running. But you can see when he throws, he's kind of leaning to that direction right there, because that's the way his momentum was going when he was running. That's the only thing I could think of, because everything else looks pretty good. Again, I can't stand the way Baker lays his front foot when he throws. It always bothers me. It's kind of pigeon-toed. See how the back one's straight and that one's that way? He worked on that last year and was, more forward with his foot. But, the mechanics aren't horrible. It's just too short. But McMillan, definitely, his hand should have been up in here. No doubt about it. And then he just does this where he puts his hands up. But right here, not even touching the guy. It's weird. And then the guy gets up and runs, and he runs for like 25 yards, but then they get a penalty for the blindside block. So it comes back 15 yards. But he does get an extra 10 yards from getting up and running. Which is very strange. I don't understand why McMillan did that. Here we go. Michael Jordan clobbers 90. Ends up taking out about 4 guys with this one, or 92. He takes them down. I like that. I like that nice aggressive play like this. Get in. Nice pass. And you can see Otten is covered here. Otten's covered. They played tight coverage on us. There's another thing, too, and this has kind of always been a problem with the Buccaneers receivers. I don't know if it's a coaching issue or whatever, but we don't try to juke guys out. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot. We just run our routes, and if they stick with us, they stick with us. Egbuka and Tez Johnson both can juke people out. Mike Evans and Godwin, they're just not jukers. But I've noticed Egbuka and Johnson are not doing it anymore. So maybe it's been taught out of them. I don't know. 13 here takes a lot of attention. Look at all these guys paying attention to Mike. Just all game they were. This was a beautiful play. Beautiful play call. I really liked it. You get McMillan down here. It's a good zone beater. And because they focus so much on Mike, he's wide open. If Baker would have thrown a better pass here, this was short again. You see McMillan. Look at if he would have thrown it deep and just like it was a go route, this would have been a touchdown. But McMillan has to, again, stop and turn around to catch the ball. Great play call, though. Was at the right time. Good read by Baker, too. They ended up going in Tampa 2 zone, which they didn't play a whole lot of zone in this game. But again, on this one, if you notice, he was throwing it on the run. He moves out of the pocket. See? And he doesn't have to. There's no reason for him to do that. And he's going this direction as he's throwing. And it just, again, exact same thing as last time, and it comes up short. He needs to stop doing that. Again, here he throws it on the run. And it's short. 67, pancakes 44. 67 was on a mission this game. He was just dominating people. Oof. I love it. Yeah. 65 gets pushed back into Baker. So he comes out. 65 had a good game, though. But 67 and 62 both had perfect games. This one, Mike, just has a bad adjustment on this ball. This was a great pass by Baker. And again, and look, he stays in the pocket, sets his feet, gets a good foundation, throws it. It's a really beautiful pass by Baker. Bad adjustment by Mike. You can actually see him right here. Look how he's turned all backwards. It's like a over the right shoulder fade almost. Well, you can see it a lot better. We'll look at it from the end zone angle. Horrible camera work on this, but you can still see it. But as you get to see, really good coverage again. Just tight coverage. But Baker puts it in the perfect spot. Mike just doesn't see it very well. So let's look at it from the end zone angle. And you could see just how perfect it was. Look at that. If Mike would have adjusted right to that. I mean, look how close it is to his hands here. But for some reason, I don't know what happened here. He's got his head way back. And it's almost like he expects it to drop right in his hands. And it doesn't. It goes right there. Beautiful pass, though. If it would have dropped in his hands, this guy would have been able to knock it out. But because it was over here, this guy wouldn't be able to get to it. So it was a good throw by Baker there. Bad adjustment by Mike. This is a 3rd and 13. Great patience by Mayfield on this one. Really nice mesh. I love the way they designed it. And this is a perfect man beater, too. And it works out great. Unfortunately, these guys are so fast, he gets tackled right away. We don't get the first down. But this is a really nice mesh. They're in a bunch over here, so he meshes out of the bunch. He comes across. And the reason why it's so good is because they're in man, and this guy is on the outside, and he's got to get through all these guys to cover 11, and he can't do it. Look at that. And they do a really good job of getting out of the way for him, and he gets through them, but it does slow him up just enough. He gets open. Probably is a really good man beater, too. I wish they would have curved the route out a little bit more right here, maybe. And Baker throw it up here. But, you would still think he would catch it and be able to get the first down. But these guys are just fast, man. They're fast. I liked Otten here with the fake, I'm going to get in your way, and then he gets out of the way right there just to slow him up a little bit more. This Dolphins defense is really fast. Reminds me of the Bills defense. They were fast too. So we ended up punting that one. All right, here's a 3rd and 3 on the next series. This ends up just being a miscommunication problem. I don't know what was supposed to happen here, but I'm pretty sure that it wasn't this. Somebody messed up here. And you could see Egbuka just kind of, he's like, oh, crap. He ends up knocking this guy off. I don't know. That could have been a penalty. Don't know. Baker scrambles, throws on the run, and guess what? It's short. 14's wide open here. He throws, bad platform, short. It was a theme in this game. Here we get to see Gedeke tossing some people. He ends up tossing 56 and actually tosses 56 into the path of Baker Mayfield here. Look at this. Watch this. He just tosses him. I love it. I'll tell you what, Gedeke was on a man on fire in this game. Perfect game. He had a perfect game. He just tosses this dude. He's like, get out of here. And Baker's scrambling. He just right in the way. Baker. Good stuff. But again, Baker didn't need to scramble here. Don't know why he did. Ends up being a pile over here. 70 gets tripped up right here. You can see this guy. 92 kicks him in the back of the leg, knocks him over. Boop. He falls down. 2 is free, but he's got all these people in his way. So, Baker doesn't need to throw, doesn't need to scramble. And, the thing I don't like about Baker scrambling is here's what he does. See, his eyes are down now. He's not looking downfield. And, he tucks the ball, or he does this with the ball, which I can't stand. Put 2 hands on the ball, buddy. But he's not looking downfield, Now he's looking downfield. And I get it. But at the same time, I'd much prefer him to stay in the pocket. But if he's going to scramble, look downfield while you're doing it. Or just go. Just the haul butt. One of the two. All right, here we see 88 gets open in the flat right here. Or it might be 87. I can't tell. He's wide open. They busted coverage on him. They don't know. And Baker ends up, I think he picks up 3 yards there. But this is a weird one because 70 obviously doesn't know the snap, and he doesn't move after the ball is snapped. So he's really late getting out the block. So he's just sitting there. And he's like, oh, crap. But I wish Baker would have, thought about 87 right here, because he had a lot of room in front of him. Definitely would have been first down. Baker gets first down anyhow. It's no big deal. Let's look at it. Let's look at Chumbawamba again. Missing this snap. It's just so funny to me. He's just sitting there. He's still sitting there. Okay, now he's going to move. Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious. It's sad, but hilarious. All in all, he didn't have a bad game, but man, did he have a crucial mess up there with that strip sack. Okay, 3rd and 1. Godwin is open on this route right here. And, of course, Baker's running around like a chicken back here. Scrambling for no reason. We'll look at that again. But 14's open for a really long time. He never sees him. He's still open. Still open. Hey, Kate, how you doing? Still open. Still open. Still open. Baker does get the first down, but okay. From this angle, you can see this is the same play. You can see, again, Baker doesn't really need to scramble here. Grant. Thank you, sir. See, I mean, the pocket's fine. And again, it's 67. He tosses Bradley Chubb this time. He's like, get down. Throws him to the ground. But see, the pocket's fine. Pocket's fine. And again, Baker, takes his eyes off the field, brings the ball down, and just starts scrambling. Not looking downfield. You got 14 wide open right in front of you. I get it, but dang. And luckily, we do get the first down. So there's that. Okay, this one, Michael Jordan, again, like I said, he was the weak link in this game. He wasn't horrible, but right here, that was a tough one. That's a tough one. Now, y'all saw the video of Bucky Irvin and Wirfs kind of barking each other at the sideline. I didn't see anything that Bucky could blame the offensive line for. There were a few plays like this, he definitely just gets whooped here. I don't understand why Gedeke doesn't block him here. He just runs right past him. You're supposed to be running clean up there. Look at that. 62 just lifts 33 off the ground. But yeah, Bucky gets tackled in the backfield here. But yeah, 60 got whooped on that one for sure. But I don't know what Bucky was complaining about to Wirfs for, or the offensive line, or what was going on there. Not a good look, though. It's not a good look. Guys yelling at each other on the sideline. Okay, here's a 3rd and 10. Again, 14 is open. 13's open over here. Don't know why he didn't throw this, but look at this. 14 is wide open because he threw his guy right here. He just throws him. Get off me. He's wide open. Wide open. But, of course, he's scrambling for no reason back here. He missed 2 guys open. Now it's too late. They're covered now. He does end up getting first down now. So it's kind of hard to complain about it too much. It's when he doesn't get the first downs that aggravate me. I just wish he would read the field a little bit better. And you can see he doesn't need to scramble. Pocket's fine. Pocket is fine. Now he's got to scramble. Uh, 60 pushes 92 to the ground here. 7, Bucky ends up with a huge hole in this. Now 70, 92 beat 60 a couple plays before, so I think 60 was kind of pissed at him. So watch, he blocks him out of the way and then comes over and just shoves him straight to the ground. I think that was his revenge game. But look at this hole. Look at that. And you got a blocker here, blocker here. Bam. So, I don't know what Bucky would be complaining about with the offensive line. I think they blocked pretty decent for him. This one, again, this is just where we just shot ourselves in the foot. Baker I don't know if he's pump faking here to 14 to try and free somebody else up. You know, I mean, he's got a guy he could maybe hit there. Don't know. This is a 3rd and 8 though, so it's probably 3rd and goal. So you got to either hit this or nothing, right? So I don't know what he's doing here, pump faking, but the ball just comes right out of his hands and falls straight to the ground. And lucky for him, it bounces up right back into his hands. And we ended up with 3 points here. But it's just stuff like that. You know, the Dolphins didn't beat us on defense by any stretch of the imagination. But we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. The ball just comes right out of his hand. I don't know. I don't know if he's pump faking here. It looks to me like he's throwing it. But it just falls right out of his hand and lands right on the ground right here. Don't know, man. Weird stuff. Okay, this next series. Go back and boom, he throws a short underneath pass. Look at this. Triple coverage on 13. But because they did that, look what happened. Egbuka running free. He had this one too. And you can see 11 went, oh, crap. So, again, another opportunity Baker missed there. And he was gone too. Egbuka was gone. Poof. That cut right there was monstrous. And he was gone. You can see him putting his hands up right here. He's frustrated. It's like, ah. All right, we are in the 4th quarter. All right. Yeah, 4th quarter. That last play was in the 4th quarter too. And again, you know, this starts becoming a thing. Baker kind of panicking back there. I mean, you can see him. He's just like, you know, in a frantic mode. He's just looking all over the place and ends up dumping it down to Bucky. It ends up being a bad pass, a little low. Bucky can't catch it. Guy hits him. Boom, ball comes out. He had Kate Otten wide open over here this whole time. And again, he just, you know, he's like panicking back there for no reason. Getting frantic. So, you know, maybe he is hurt because that's what I've seen. When he gets hurt, he gets frantic. Let me see. 70 gets beat by 56 for a quarterback hit here. This is a miracle escape by Baker. I don't know how he got out of this. I mean, look at this guy. He's riding him like a donkey. And he gets out of that. That's just incredible. And it's not like Baker's a huge dude either. Now, see, that's great. That's the kind of stuff you go, wow. You know, elite quarterback play right there. Here's another one where he throws it. This was the interception. Don't like this at all. I don't know why he did it. You know, for one, I mean, he's covered here, but he's been thrown in coverage all night, so I get that. But, you know, the safety does look like he's going in this direction, and he does spin. But, look, as you can see, Baker's in his throwing motion when this guy comes out of his spin. So Baker could have pulled it down. He just decided, I'm just going to throw it. And it's short. Interception. I didn't like the decision to begin with, You know, even if this guy wasn't here, I mean, he's covered. That's good coverage there, man. And you can see the guy gets leverage on him. He's underneath him. So that was going to be intercepted by this guy if this guy wasn't here. It's not a good decision. It was stuff like that. You know, just shooting ourselves in the foot. All right, here's 3rd and 3. This is the, I think, second to the last series. He ends up throwing it here. And I think Bucky comes up short. Yes, he does. Yeah. And again, see, Bucky not trying to evade guys. He actually puts a shoulder down. And that's just not Bucky. That's not Bucky's skill set. You know? And he ends up coming up short. We have to go for it on 4th down. But if you look, 11 is wide open on this play. And Baker could see this. And look at that. Look, he's wide open. And Baker starts off looking over here, and then he scans the field. He sees, he's looking at 11 right now. And he knows 11's route. He knows he's going to be stopping right there. And then he just kind of even skims over 14, doesn't even look there. And then he just goes, I'll take the check down. And I get it, but, you know, these guys are fast, man. I mean, they're there. Normally you would think, oh, that'd be an easy 1st down, but these guys are fast. And they've been showing how fast they are all game. So I don't know why he didn't throw it to 11. Because you could clearly see it right here. Look at this. Wide open. Don't get it. Don't get it. It's way too much of that. And we've seen this for weeks now. Oh, and here we go. This is just so sad. Because like I said, Chumbawamba, you know, he had a pretty decent game. And then right here, he just gets beat with speed on the outside. Boom, crosses his legs up, can't get no leverage whatsoever. And wham, right there. Now, if Baker is hurt, it's probably from this. It's his throwing shoulder that's hurt because, I mean, he gets clobbered there. And to me, it just seems like 70 was just tired. So sad. And that's about it. That's about it. I do want to show you this play, though. This was great. Godwin had a pretty good game. McMillan had a pretty good game, too, other than that crappy interception. But here, Godwin, the yards after the catch is just incredible. He's gone. He's gone. This is our last drive. 60 yards. Beautiful. And Godwin's not even a fast guy, but he's always been good at yards after the catch. And, of course, that gets us down in the field goal range. Then we have to try the onside kick. Don't get it. Which, you know, they weren't playing prevent defense or anything there. That was a legit catch and run. So, again, you know, the defense didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. On the other side of the ball, they beat the crap out of us. Our defense just played like garbage, and they dominated us, which is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Our defense quit. They had no oomph whatsoever. They weren't even talking to each other. You could tell they were very upset with each other. But Six has got to work on his accuracy a little bit. His deep balls just not cutting it. They played really tight coverage in this game, a lot of man. Baker had to throw into coverage a lot. They didn't blitz hardly at all. They blitzed one time the whole first half and then blitzed 4 times after that in the second half. Most of that was when we were behind and they knew we were going to be throwing. They did a really good job focusing on Mike Evans, shutting him down. And we basically just shot ourselves in the foot in this game. Just dumb mistakes and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of complaints about the offensive line. It's same as usual. Gedeke did play great. He really stepped it up. Barton had a good game too. Feeney played all right. Michael Jordan was the weak link. And then 70, gave up that strip sack, man. It was just like, you've been doing so good all game. And then brain fart. But yeah, offensively, we should have put up 50 points. We had the opportunities. Yeah, we missed the boat with Cohen. No doubt about it. And, we all said that last year. Remember how upset we were when he went to Jacksonville? How happy we were when we re-signed him? We were celebrating. And then we lost him to Jacksonville, and man, were we upset and mad. Because we knew. He was a good offensive coordinator. I've never seen an offensive coordinator, come in and have a team, have a unit so ready to play as he did. We just came in and we didn't make mistakes. And it wasn't like it was a simple deep offense either. He had those guys ready to play. I don't know how he did it. But we really missed out on that one. Yeah, I called for Bowles' head, I think, 2 years ago, and then, we ended up making the playoffs. I felt really bad about it. And I normally don't call for anybody to be fired or players to be cut or anything. But I think it's time, man. This is weak. This is sad. It's sad. And it's not going to get any better. We know what Bowles' ceiling is. It's a cohesive unit. Yeah, see? Which is exactly what we don't have right now on any side of the ball, anywhere. We don't have a cohesive room. I don't think the tight ends, the wide receivers, the offensive line, the running backs, the quarterback room, no room is cohesive right now. They're all taking turns being screw-ups. Yeah, Rampage has been anti-Bowles for a while, but this year you've really brought out the pitchforks. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Yeah, there's no Super Bowl in Bowles. No. Definitely. He was handed Tom Brady, and he had a losing season. Let that sink in. He was handed Tom Brady, an already established team. Everything was the same. We went from the Super Bowl to losing to the Rams. Some people would say it was a bad play called by Bowles, to having a losing record. And that was all Bowles. So the only change was Bowles. So, I'm like, eh. Yeah, I'd like to know the story, what happened with Liam there. Did he want the head coaching job? And we said no, but we gave him more money as an offensive coordinator, and he was fine with it until Jacksonville countered the offer. But how much is he making at Jacksonville? We really messed up there. $12 million. Gosh, man, Bowles is cheap. So he's making 4 times. It's a 5-year contract, too. So he's the 10th highest paid coach in the NFL. Yeah, so he went from making 1.7 million with us to 12 million. That's a big jump. So he's the 8th highest paid coach in the league. Well, they're getting their money's worth, that's for sure. Yeah, ready to play and creative plays. I really loved his play calling. That was some fun stuff. And, Grant, the thing that was amazing with him is he used everybody to their skill set. Because, what's up, Gulliver? Mayfield is a very fast twitch guy. He's not a patient, sit in the pocket, let things develop type of guy. He wants to move. He's like, ugh. And Cohen had him doing that, had him doing a bunch of stuff after the snap, but before the routes developed, all these weird handoffs and spins and fake tosses. And all kinds of just basically keeping Baker occupied. It was really smart. I enjoyed watching it. Cohen's a smart dude, man. He's a good football guy. Lawrence is 26-12, Baker 25-10, touchdown and interception. Baker had a great stretch at the beginning of the year where he was not throwing interceptions. Yeah, Liam, I was very mad at Liam. He did screw us over. Glazers gave him a boatload of money, probably not $12 million worth, but the highest paid OC in the league. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, they fired their GM for him. Yeah. They let him know, this is your team, man. We're handing you the keys to the city. Right. Yeah. Right. Character wise, awesome. I'm like, yeah, Liam can bite me. But football wise, obviously, I was really hoping he'd crash and burn. But he obviously knows what he's doing. He's got something. There's something. Besides the actual schemes and play calls and all that good stuff, there's something about him that he gets guys super organized, super competent, or super confident, or I don't know, something. When things go wrong in Jacksonville, he'll sneak off in the middle of the night. He seems like that type of guy. So hopefully it'll happen, right? I know. You know how hard Archangel was the other week? Pull it when the Saints were playing the Panthers. My wife's brother is a Panthers fan. And after the game, we told him, we were like, that was a really hard game to watch because we had to root for the Saints. Yeah, I wouldn't decline that raise either. But, at the same time, you take it back to the Buccaneers and be like, hey, look, I'm getting offered $12 million to be head coach. If you could beat that and give me the head coaching job, at least give them a counter offer. We never had that opportunity, I don't think. Yeah, I can't believe the Rams screwed us over last night. They just did. It seems like every year the Rams stick it to us for 30 years, man. Like I was saying, I used to hate the Eagles, but we beat up on the Eagles so much over the past 20, 25 years that, I don't really hate them as much anymore. But the Rams, we have never gotten them back for that 1999 NFC Championship game and all the other times. I hate them. I respect them, but I hate them. Favorite head coach candidate? Man, I got quite a few I like. Kubiak, the Todd Monken, but I definitely want an offensive coordinator. I want an offensive head coach. I'm tired of these defensive head coaches. Just they never seem to be able to get us anywhere, and we always end up losing our offensive coordinators. And tired of it. I want one of these young up and comers. Todd Monken's not one of those, but I do like Todd Monken. He's pretty good offensive coordinator. And I would think the Glazers would, they're comfortable with him. They know him. They tried to get him a couple years ago. But I'm not even sure if he wants to be a head coach. I don't know. Going younger again. Yeah, I want to go younger. He tap dances in the pocket. Brady would do that too. Brady always kept his feet moving. He kind of hopped around. I think the greats do. They keep their feet bouncing so that they're always on foundation. So they could throw at any moment, but they could also run at any moment if they need to. Gosh, how many teams are getting new head coaches this year? Yeah, good question. How many teams got new head coaches last year, and how many of them are doing good? I know 3 of them that are doing good. Okay, the Bears got Ben Johnson. He's done great. Jacksonville Jaguars got Liam Cohn. He did great. Kellen Moore with the Saints. They're doing good. Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer. Not so good. Vrabel with the Patriots. Doing great. Raiders with Pete Carroll. Not so good. And Aaron Glenn with the Jets. Not good. So all the old heads aren't doing good except for Vrabel. Gosh, man, those are a lot of good head coaches. Ben Johnson, Liam Cohn, Kellen Moore, Mike Vrabel. But then again, Aaron Glenn, he has not turned out very well. Is there a over-under on whether they're going to have any interceptions next week? They still don't have any interceptions, right? The Jets. And Pete Carroll, what happened there? Rampage, what's the skinny on that? Oh, Joe, don't even tell me. I'd love to have Sean McVay. Could you imagine? Yeah, I agree with you also. I mean, a lot of people want Gruden back. I don't think it'd be a good idea for a number of reasons, But, yeah. And he'd be fun for the first year. His stick kind of gets old with me a little bit, though. Like, I love watching his breakdowns, his game previews, but they're an hour long. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he knows players, he knows personnel. He'll talk about the schemes, he knows what he's talking about. But after an hour of listening to him, I'm just wore out. Oh my gosh, man, this guy just goes. He burns me out pretty quick. Like Mike LaFleur, yeah, that'd be a good one too. Flores, though, he's defensive coach, all right? Just kind of over the defensive coaches. Yeah, the McVay coaching tree has been great. It's probably the best coaching tree in football right now. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Kubiak either. Yeah, and in the last time, Kate, when he was at Raiders, I was not impressed with what he did there. And another issue is, he's a control freak, and he's got to have control of personnel, which means we'd either have to get rid of Jason Light, or Jason Light would have to be subservient to him. And I'm not a big fan of Gruden's talent evaluation. I watched a video rampage on the Raiders offensive line. Yeah, man, they're pretty bad. I was like, woof. Eesh. And that's his son. Okay. You talking about Bill Belichick? No way, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you. Baker's at his best with West Coast. He needs those fast timing routes. This it's the knock I would have on Grizzard is he's expecting Baker to sit there and wait for these routes to develop, and he's just not good at it. You know, I mean, I do like Grizzard. I think he's got some good football knowledge. He dials up some good plays and stuff, but he's not he's not playing towards Baker's strength. Yeah, West Coast offense is perfect for Baker. You know, plus throw in a little bit of uh, wildcat options. Keep Baker's legs running too, man. You gotta move him around. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed, but Baker's always running around the field. Like after the play, he like runs over to whoever got tackled, and helps him up. He's usually one of the first ones over there. If he throws the ball way down the field, he's running down the field behind it. When he hands the ball off, he like runs to try and block. He's always moving. He's very uh, almost like he's got autism or something. He just can't stand still. He's the kind of guy that needs fidget spinners. But yeah, he's a high energy dude, man. I love him. I think he's great. Yeah, Jason Light's got to. He's kind of on the hot seat, man. I think he's got to really hit with some draft picks and get a good coach. His draft picks, I mean, the Egbuka thing seemed like genius at the start of the year, but now it's kind of like, ugh, we got a lot of work to do in that area, and we still don't have a pass rush. Especially when you look at Atlanta, who got two pass rushers and they killed us. Got he talking about yeah, that's the kind of silly I want to feel, man. I want to feel really stupid as Bowles is holding that Super Bowl trophy. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. And it could happen. It literally could happen. I mean, we could pop off Saturday and just go nuts, rack up 50 points, and then just blaze through the playoffs. It could happen. Stranger things has happened. And I'm not here to say it won't happen. I am here to say it's a really small chance of it happening. I want it to happen. Yeah, I've never been a fan of Gruden's talent evaluation. Even when he was with the Bucs, we had a lot of issues with our draft picks and guys he brought in. Yeah, Gruden's coaching tree is huge too. Dungy's coaching tree has been dominant in the NFL forever. It's really only been in the past few years that it's kind of started to fade away. Bill Belichick wants to coach here? No, thank you. No, thank you. Which I'm sure the Glazers would probably do it in a heartbeat just because it'd fill up the seats for the first 6 months, but I don't know. I couldn't see him and Baker getting along either. I don't know. But then again, Bill's kind of chilled out. It seems like. I still haven't watched that Raise the Flags documentary. Been busy around here. Zebra, I remember during the tuck rule game, and I've got people who were with me. I've got evidence that I said this. When the Raiders lost that game, I turned around and I looked at everybody and I said, "We're going to get Gruden as a head coach." I just felt it. I was like, "Gruden's coming to Tampa," and it came true. I also picked, and I've got this written down in like a sealed envelope or something, that the Atlanta Falcons were going to have the number 1 pick and pick Michael Vick. I picked that like 3 years before it happened. I was a big Michael Vick fan. I used to go watch him play at high school. We lived about 45 minutes away. And I had some friends of mine, they were like, "Man, you got to come watch this play." It was so wild watching him. It was like a man amongst boys. And he was so effortless. It was crazy. And I knew right then, I was like, this guy's going to, if he can make it through the gauntlet, the college and all that good stuff, not get in trouble and everything, he will be the number 1 draft pick, and he'll be a superstar in the NFL. So those are my claims to fame for prognostication. But yeah, as soon as they lost that game in the tuck rule, the Oakland game, I turned to everybody and I said, "We're going to get Gruden as head coach." Weird. Bill wants to do the same thing. Come here. I don't think I could handle it, man. Yeah, filling briefcases to get Bill here, I could see it too. The Patriots would like, man, y'all. I don't know, man. I just don't think he's in it. Grant, I saw a picture of him on the sidelines looking all sad, or it was a video, and I'm not sure what game it was at. I think it was the Miami game. Light was like walking with his arms crossed, looking all sad on the sidelines. But yeah, I haven't seen him on the All 22. I always look on the sidelines, see who. I finally saw Grizzard. I've been looking for Grizzard like all year, trying to figure out where is it. And then I finally came to, I was like, he must be in the box or something. And I finally saw him today. I was like, oh, hey, there he is. No wonder I didn't notice him. He's a really small dude. And he was like wearing a hat and a hoodie and stuff. I was like, man, he doesn't stand out at all. Joe, that'll be so heartbreaking, man. So heartbreaking. What's up, Lawrence? The toilet bowl, yep. A man amongst dogs. Oof. Oof. Why do you think Todd will be back, Rampage? Yeah, James Pierce was, I'm going to have to go back and look through my notes. I think he was the second or third guy I wanted as far as pass rushers is concerned. Who did I want? Who was the top dog I wanted? I'm going to have to find my notes. We're going to go over all that after the season, look and see how our predictions worked out, the guys we wanted to draft and everything. Oh man, yeah. If the Panthers get to celebrate on our field with their fan, yep, yep, there will be firings after that for sure. He did good with getting JPP and Shaq Barrett here, though. Those were good moves. And I'll say this: I don't think the Buccaneers have ever drafted an edge rusher that's been worth a crap. We have a horrible track record for that. Not just Jason Light, but when I think back of all of our good edge rushers, they were all free agents. You can maybe say Adrian Claiborne, maybe. And he was okay. Does Leroy Selman count as a pass rusher? I think just getting pass rushers are really hard. I don't know. Denver's pretty good at doing it. Right. That's how I feel, Matthew. Uh, they got to make it to the playoffs and they got to just play incredibly well before I'll say Todd Bowles can stay. The girlfriend alone is a deal breaker. That'd be the only reason why I want to bring him here. Yeah. I'd want to give Jason another year or so, at least another year. A very young Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. That's wild. Yeah, so many coaches have come from Tampa, man. That's a good point, Matthew. Never thought about that. Never thought about looking at the GM's win loss record. uh, Tomlin. I used to like Tomlin. Same with Harbaugh. But now I want one of these young guys, man. I want one of these young guys that's going to bring some fire and do like everybody else is doing. I want to follow the trend. I want a coach that we can have, a Sean McVay, a 10-year coach that's just killing it that you just got confidence in every year. Right. I don't want no more defensive coaches. No more defensive head coaches. Tired of them. I'm a defensive guy, but man, the defensive head coaches just ain't it. Because Rondé and Rappaport think, well, and Bruce Arians said on Pat McAfee today that he doesn't think Todd Bowles is going to get fired. But I do. I just do. Unless, like I said, he pulls off a miracle, we make it to the playoffs and we play like gangbusters in the playoffs. We got to win at least one playoff game, minimum. I don't think anybody, trust me, the Glazers don't know. The Glazers don't put that stuff out there at all. They play so close to the vest. Nobody knows. They don't even probably know what they're going to do. They are some secretive people, man. Amazingly secretive. Arians, Gruden, and Dungy. Yeah, well. I wouldn't put him up there with those guys for sure. Arians is me and Molly were talking about the other night, and I was like, I really miss Arians. He's my favorite Buccaneers head coach. I just liked him. I liked his style. I loved his press conferences. Press conferences are a big thing with me. I can't stand Todd Bowles' press conferences. I couldn't stand Lovie Smith's press conferences. I just don't like that stoic coach speak. Greg Schiano gave great press conferences. Raheem Morris gave great press conferences. Where they talked like normal people and, kind of told you what was going on and didn't try to disguise things, called guys out, called themselves out. I love that crap. Yeah, Vita's pretty much, I think he's pretty much checked out. I think Levante's kind of checked out too. Our front seven, Logan Hall is having his best year ever, but it's just not enough. And 95, one of the Elijahs, who's, he's getting the starting nods. He's not doing anything. Yaya's doing stuff every now and then, but not enough. Hassan Riddick ain't doing anything. He's getting blocked up by tight ends. Dennis is just, struggling. I saw Anthony Walker on the sidelines. I don't know why we don't start him. Just what do we got to lose at this point? Yeah, remember Jihad Campbell. Yeah. Didn't he end up getting a fumble or an interception on us early in the year? Yeah, get Max Crosby. That'd be awesome. I mean, if we can't draft him, get him however we can get him. We need somebody, man. We just need somebody with some fight in him, some dog. We just don't have any guys with dog in them. No to all of them. Matthew doesn't like any of them. Who do you like? Matthew, who would you want as head coach? Max is breaking down. Yeah, he's been in the league for a while. Bill's girlfriend could replace Jafar DeMar. I wouldn't be mad about that. Mike Tomlin. Ooh, Arch Manning. How's he doing in college? I haven't scouted any of his stuff. What's that, Kate? Would like what under the circumstances? Huh. I'm trying to catch up with Chad. I didn't realize how far behind I was. Bowles drives me crazy in the press conferences. It's kind of like with his injury stuff, and I don't get it. I understand the idea behind it, but it just doesn't seem to work. If you've got all these ideas, like with the injuries, I'm going to keep injuries close to the vest because I don't want opposing teams to know who's going to be playing or everything. If you're getting your butt whooped every week, change your strategy. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe nobody cares who's injured. Maybe you don't have to spend so much time and resources hiding the injuries. Same thing with press conferences. Maybe be a little bit more open. Change if things ain't working, change things, right? I don't know. Yeah, too scared to call people out. The Bowles is way too soft on the guys, man. Fire Mr. Potato Head. Oh. Remember when Adrian Claiborne went to the Falcons and he had like 3 or 4 sacks in one game against us? I was like, what? How come you never did that when you were here? Yeah, I think Logan Hall knows he's not going to be here next year, so he's trying to put on some game film. Yeah. But again, like both of them, like Yaya, it just teams just aren't scared of them. They're not like scary guys. That you really have to focus on. That you gotta, you could throw a tight end over there and block them. You know. All right, awesome. Yeah, I got to get off here too. I got to go get something to eat. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be safe this offseason, Lawrence. We got a lot of guys who are, going to be free agents, and I think a lot of them ain't coming back. Yeah, I don't want to give Grizz a bunch of excuses, but he has had to deal with a lot of injuries. I mean, every week he's had to change his whole game plan basically based on personnel. Trey Hendrickson, yeah. What's his deal? He's another injury guy. It seems like. Yeah, his edge rusher. But then again, like I said, the Shaq Barrett JPP maneuvers, getting them as free agents was really good. Worked out really well. Oh, if we could steal Cohen back, yeah. Oh, would I take that situation? Yeah, I'd take it in a heartbeat. Yes, I would. He could have all the bad morals on the planet. I want him back as a head coach. Especially now that we've seen what he can do with a crap team. I'm like, yep, I'll take him. That's what we thought last year, Zebra. We were going to take a outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever. I wouldn't mind going back to a 4-3 defense either. I like the 4-3 defense. It's what I've watched for 30 years as a Buccaneers fan. The last 7 years watching this 3-4 defense is just kind of meh. Yeah, we got we got a lot of shaking up to do with this team. I don't think Logan Hall is going to be here next year. Who else do we have? Levante David, of course, Mike Evans, Jamel Dean, Rashad White, Cade Otton, Kokeeft, Hassan Reddick, Sean Tucker, Christian Izzian, Sterling Shepard, Greg Gaines, Mike Jordan, Dan Feeney, Teddy Bridgewater, Connor Bazelak, Evan Deckers, our long snapper, Kendall Vildor, Charlie Heck, Marquis Watts, Deion Jones, and Anthony Walker Jr. We got a long list of free agents. And, a lot of them might not make it back, especially if we get a new head coach and all that. He's going to want his guys in here. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's good, I guess. That's why you never marry somebody that you cheated on with or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, if we did get Cohen back, he'd probably leave for somebody else with a bigger paycheck, like Jerry Jones or something. The whole league would know, oh, all we got to do is drop a big fat salary in front of this guy and whole skedoodle. Parsons has backwards legs. Hendricks suffers from depression. Really? I didn't know that. Can we do 4-3 with Vita? He was 4-3 his first year, right? I think that's what he did in college, 4-3. Yeah, if Bowles would have been here, we never would have drafted Vita. I guarantee you. Vita's not Todd Bowles' type of guy, body-wise, and he just doesn't fit in the system. His move works, his one move. He's got the strength and definitely athletic enough, but yeah, he's got to learn how to control his fine motor skills and just keep that motor running because, he's been here for 4 years and this is the first year he's ever really done anything. His first year was absolutely atrocious. He was really bad. But, second, third year were just kind of bad. Useless. He was just a guy. This year, and it's not like he's playing elite this year. It's just it's his best year. I can't see him coming back. Don't know, though. Stranger things have happened. Yeah. All right, guys, I got to get off here, get something to eat. If I don't see you all again before the new year, have a happy New Year's. Everybody be safe. And, man, Saturday, it's gonna be a nail biter. It's gonna be a sweat and palms game. But hopefully we'll do it. Hopefully we'll do it, and then hopefully the stupid Saints will beat the Falcons. The good thing is those teams hate each other, and neither one of them's going to lay down. So it'll be a game. It'll be a game. But anyhow, till next time, go Bucs.